It's February 2nd, 2022. This is where this gets confusing. So they're saying they're saying 130 immigrant children reunited with families. Now, that's one thing. Then they go into a sequence of $590 million in opioid whatever was settled with Native Americans from Johnson and Johnson. And then after that, it says the U.S. national debt is up to $30 trillion. Now, I'm not in the right anything. I'm in a collapsing part of the universe, for certain, or galaxy, whatever word. It's definitely a galaxy. And $30 trillion seems like the largest extortion event going on at the moment. I'm like, that national debt, how is the U.S. when they have multiple nations involved? How are they doling out that debt and carrying that and still succeeding in running an operation? It gets really confusing.
Task force has identified, it says, 4,000 children separated from their families at the border during the Trump administration.
A $590 million settlement reached in the opioid claims of hundreds of Native American tribes. Those tribes accusing New Jersey-based pharmaceutical company Johnson & Johnson and three of the country's largest drug distributors of fueling the opioid epidemic in their communities. They say this led to thousands of overdose deaths over the past 2 years. At least 85% of settlement money will go to drug treatment and related programs.
Which is interesting. I mean, again, how do you even find out about these lawsuits in progress at that level? To even find out if you are qualified or if you are entitled to anything. Again, this is not public information. I mean, some of the public might have learned about it through all of their social climbing ladders and chairs stacked for them prior to my arrival. But in this particular area, with this level of education, it's not clear and was never spoken of. So now they jump to a story about national debt.
The Treasury Department reports the United States gross national debt has reached a new high at more than $30 trillion. Now, this follows trillions in federal spending to combat the pandemic and help families and small businesses.
Federal spending? But it's U.S. national debt. How does that work? When it's the Fed, is that like a bailout money? I mean, where is the exact chain of command and exact, where is it being spent? How does one even, it's very confusing.
In need. It also follows increased federal spending and tax cuts from the previous administration. However, some economists argue the country's economy can handle the debt as long as our economy remains strong and continues to grow. The nation's gross domestic product grew 5.7% last year. That's the largest such growth since 1984.
Still ahead in Obvious News at 5 o'clock, a story that got our attention for our Be Kind campaign. The big surprise for a cop shot in the line of duty who also happens to be a huge Bengals fan. Also ahead, another surprise, this one for ice skaters today at Woolman Rink in Central Park. Don't delay.
It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cataruza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. So, like, these accounting measures that they throw numbers out there, like amount of COVID cases or amount of dead or like whatever. I mean, there's no construct in the rationale. Like, they give you not even a set of figures, sometimes there's a set of figures, but in trying to figure out how that actually works, in protecting oneself and getting oneself out of the situation, it's 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 a different set of results stacked, it feels like, or chairs stacked purposely to entrap and to hold against one's free will. And it's really frightening because I know some people are succeeding in areas that they were told they weren't allowed to be in for a specific reason to help combat the amount of warping of space and time for the wrong purposes, and essentially for the tearing of space and time, the fabric of space and time. If it's a fabric, it's been torn and it's been rearranged or tried to be loomed back together in the wrong format. There's evidence everywhere of that actually being so. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Caruso.